Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Rental Store. Thank you for joining us on episode 363 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom, I'm here with Trevor. How's it going, Trevor?
Hey, pretty good. So do we want to just start by continuing our conversation from Discord?
Okay, so this started last week, right? On the last episode, didn't we talk about this in the last episode, or was that 2 episodes ago?
It was last episode.
When I was talking about craft dinner and how, that whole thing.
Yeah, craft dinner, and I mean that spawned from talking about the partnership that Disney has going with.
That's right.
Heinz now, Heinz Craft, right?
That's right.
So they're going to start putting those dispensers into the park for ketchup and mustard and whatever else that they want to put in. And that spawned a bit of a conversation on Discord, which I'll admit I didn't realize where this was going to go. But for context, go ahead.
I want to say one thing really quick. So one of the things I like about besides the fact that we've been friends for a long time now, right? Yeah. I like that, while Canadians and Americans are mostly the same, there's some interesting regional differences that differences between the cultures of the two countries, and you don't really know them until you stumble upon them. You know what I mean? And that's kind of this is one of those things that we just kind of stumbled on.
and I admit I had a moment of panic when this came up because I didn't think, I thought it was normal.
So you just thought when we all thought that this was weird, you thought this was normal.
Yeah. So first of all, just to give context to everybody, the original comment was from Becky that she posted some pictures of they were just some like basic condiment dispensers, right?
Yeah.
And she
which
said,
is what they're supposedly installing in Disneyland already.
Yeah. Or so she said. She said someone posted this as they began the rollout on DCL. So this is Disney Cruise Lines.
Oh, it was Cruise Line. Okay, sorry. I thought it was Disneyland.
So it's DCL. And it's just like, ketchup, mustard. And we were kind of talking about like, that's basic. They could have like done something to, make them pretty or whatever.
Do something cool.
And then Dan says they needed these to allow the Canadians to put on their KD. And I didn't think anything of it when he said it. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of funny. And then you said, wait, what do you put on your KD? And I was like, well, ketchup. Like what? Like to me, it was.
Yeah, it was like, what condiment are you putting on mac and cheese?
Yeah, which I thought the question was like do you prefer? Because I was thinking more like, well, some people put different stuff on their mac and cheese. Like I have seen people put like barbecue sauce on mac and cheese and stuff, which again is like a fringe case thing. But most people I know around here, and obviously, being Canadian, I was like, well, obviously ketchup. And that was kind of where I was coming from. And then immediately you guys corrected me on apparently that is a very Canadian thing. And I didn't realize until I Googled it that it is an extremely Canadian thing.
I had never heard of somebody putting ketchup on mac and cheese. So just for context, if you missed the last show that we were talking about and you're not aware of this, Canadians call Kraft mac and cheese Kraft dinner, and to the point where it's called KD.
I put a picture of the box in the Discord. Like it literally just like they don't even say Kraft dinner anymore. It just says KD because we're just like, it's KD. Like
now, given the original name of it was Kraft Dinner, so at one point in the United States it was called Kraft Dinner, and then they rebranded here to Kraft Mac and Cheese, and then it's just stayed the same in Canada for whatever reason. And I also just did not realize I knew that it was a popular thing in Canada, but I did not realize how popular it actually is.
Oh yeah.
Like it's literally, I was reading about this because I was curious about the history as to why it's called Kraft Dinner in Canada and why it's not called that in the United States. And what I ran across was a whole bunch of quotes from Canadians saying that KD is basically like the national food of Canada. Like that, it's just
it is. I will say it's a safe go-to the same way that like Tim Hortons is an easy layup if you need food. Like it, and it's not to say that like we're like, oh my gosh, this is like the most amazing thing ever. It's like
reliable.
It's the easy food, right? Like KD is like literally the way I grew up with KD was like, oh, I came home from school, I came home at lunchtime from school because I live close enough that I could walk home at lunch.
Yeah.
And I'd make a box of mac and cheese, and like that was lunch. Like it's just
ingrained.
It's just it was just like a basic easy thing. It's like I don't have anything else in the house, and even as long as I have like a bit of milk and butter, like I can make mac and cheese, and that's fine. And I mean, like the milk and butter is like preferred, but you can make it without. I know people do make it without that. Like you can.
I gotta have butter. Nah, I gotta have butter.
Yeah, but I've seen people like you can make it. Yeah, you can do it with water and stuff, but it's like, I don't.
Who wants to do that?
I don't want that. But but like you said, the thing is that it's like, everybody I know at some point, or actually I shouldn't say everybody I know, everybody I grew up with. I'm sure if I asked around, because I realize now in thinking about it, like as an adult, we don't talk about eating mac and cheese. And it's not like, people are making it at work or anything like that. I'm sure, I do know a lot of people that come from different countries and stuff that they would probably be very confused if I asked them about it. But I just, like I said, the Discord conversation made me really like, it broke my assumption.
It opened your eyes.
I was like, and the ketchup thing is like, the ketchup just adds like the mac and cheese by itself is okay. Like it doesn't, I mean, it has like, a bit of that cheesy flavor, but like the little bit of like vinegar and sweet from the ketchup, I think just makes it taste a bit better. And to Becky's point, like she was appalled at the idea of us putting ketchup on pasta. And just so we're clear, it is exclusively a KD thing. It is not like, I'm not like throwing ketchup on like gnocchi or like,
you're not like making spaghetti and like using ketchup as the sauce. Like
no. No.
That'd be gross.
But yeah, it was a very funny thing. And I realized like in the context of Disney, I pointed this out as like, we went to, because I thought about it, I was like, wait, they have mac and cheese at Disney World. How did this not come up? Because, we had a meal together, but then I realized I'm like, oh no, we were at Liberty Tree.
We had mac and cheese at Liberty Tree though, I think.
Did they? Because
I'm pretty sure they have that. Yeah.
It was all but it was like the
Thanksgiving
food stuff. And I think the thing was I was more focused on the Thanksgiving meal part. And I usually don't go for the mac and cheese in Disney World because like at home I make mac and cheese, lactose free so that I can eat it without having to worry about it.
Is there lactose free KD?
No, it's the milk that you put in. So I use lactose free milk. So
there's it's not inherently in.
No, the powder. I don't know that the powder actually has any like substantial milk qualities to it or lactose qualities to it. So like in Disney World, I tend to like it's not my go-to, but I realized that if I did actually like eat some mac and cheese, I probably would have been like, this could use a bit of ketchup. And I probably would have horrified you and your family if I was like,
By the way, they do have mac and cheese as part of the Liberty Tree. I just looked it up.
Okay, I think I just avoided it.
That makes sense. Yeah, understandably.
Yeah,
the ketchup thing, like I'm not like reviled by it, right? I'm more curious. I'm first of all, I'm not a huge ketchup person. I'm just not. Like because I know people put like ketchup on like their eggs, which I also think is weird.
I mean. And with fries, it's like, I don't
know. I prefer ranch fries, just to be totally honest.
Fair. But, I mean, I know people who put mayo on their fries too.
Oh yeah, my dad. Actually, mayo is delicious on fries. My dad used to do that when I was a kid, and I thought it was weird. And then I tried it, and I was like, oh, it was pretty good. Like I get it.
So yeah, fair. Like that's a little different. But yeah, ketchup. I get it. Ketchup. I guess for me, I grew up with it, and so I'm just like, it's fine. It's there. But I didn't realize how dividing it is.
It's kind of funny. I honestly, I found the whole conversation to be enlightening and very funny, and just the idea that you didn't know, I didn't know that was a thing, and you didn't know that it wasn't a thing. And the other part of it, one thing we all can agree on, though, Trevor, is it does seem to be very common in Canada as well to cut up hot dogs and put it in KD. Yeah, that is very. I'm with that, right? Like we've done that. We've done that many times here. Like I think we can all agree hot dogs and mac and cheese, delicious. So
growing up in the 80s, that was the bougie option. Like if you had hot dogs in your mac and cheese, like that was bougie, because most people were not putting the hot dogs in the mac and cheese where I lived, at least. Like, again, or I guess maybe that speaks to where, the area that I lived in, and, people weren't wasting hot dogs on mac and cheese.
see down here, I had hot dogs with mac and cheese. Like, to me, that was like the cheap option for my dad to feed me some quick protein. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was like, so it wasn't bougie. It was just literally out of necessity. You bought some cheap hot dogs, throw it in the mac and cheese, we're good.
Yeah, I think the way we always did it was like, we would make hot dogs and we would have like hot dogs with mac and cheese on the side.
That makes sense.
So like we weren't like, or like I said, a lot of my meals were like, I as a kid, and I know this wasn't great, is I considered mac and cheese, or KD by itself, a meal, which it isn't. It fills you up, but it's not really enough.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So anyway, that was a fun conversation that we had.
Yeah. So, I like I said, it was wild, and also I really outed myself, because I as a joke, I posted a picture of, I put a bottle of ketchup on a 12-pack of KD that I do have in my house, and I always have a 12-pack of KD. So to your point, yes, us Canadians always have KD on hand. Which,
that's good. I mean, listen, I think if you ask the average American, they would say that they have some sort of mac and cheese in their pantry. I mean, I have a bunch of mac and cheese in my pantry. It's not Kraft though. It's Annie's. I have the Annie's mac and cheese. So, but which is fine. But it's not.
Yeah, we have that at the grocery store. But it's actually very funny how like you see like the Annie's and the other stuff, but like the KD is like, it's almost its own section. Like, there's so much KD.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wait, do you have Easy KD, the little
Easy
individual
Mac?
Ones? Easy Mac, yeah. Is that called Easy KD, or is it just called Easy Mac?
No, they do call it Easy Mac, which is kind of funny. But I
lived on that in college, so
we have it, but it's not that popular anymore, because it's not as good as a proper box of KD.
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
That's a necessity kind of thing.
Yeah.
I also had some fun, Trevor, last week with the photo contest that we were talking about for DVC.
Yes.
I wish I almost forgot about. I had AI put me in a tuxedo and in the lobby of Grand Floridian
with a monorail going through the lobby.
So if you've ever used AI to make images, you know that the AI is not always very accurate with its depictions. But it had the Grand Floridian lobby. It had me in a tuxedo. It actually slimmed me down a little bit, which was nice. I appreciated the AI making me lose some pounds. And for some reason, a monorail was going through the lobby. Who knows why? But
I don't hate the idea, to be honest.
No, it's great.
It does that. The Grand Californian has, like, there are some rooms that, like, you look outside and the monorail line goes through the hotel.
Well, like the Contemporary, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not quite the same as the Contemporary. Like, it's all outside. Like, it's not a covered thing or anything, but it's still like, that idea of like, you're in your hotel and a monorail goes by. It's like, if they did that at the, like, I'm surprised they didn't do that at the Grand Floridian. Although, like, I know it stops like
it's right there.
It's right there, but like having it like go through the building is a crazy idea to me.
It is a crazy idea. There's actually some really cool history behind that if you look back at it, because I've told this before on the show. There's actually this is a really, I recommend these kinds of things all the time because I love these kinds of things. But there was a History Channel thing called How Disney Built America. And they have a series of these, right? So it's like how, X company built America or whatever, right? And there's this one just about Walt Disney, and they talk a lot, they kind of get into all of it, all the Walt Disney stuff, but also just like all of the, all the park stuff too. But one of the things you like learn about, and like I said, I've talked about this before, U.S. Steel was hired to build the Contemporary. And when they saw that there was a monorail that was supposed to go through the middle of the building, they said, we can't do this. And they started building it without the monorail in the middle of it. And Roy Disney found out about this and was like, no, why isn't the monorail going through the hotel? And they're like, well, we can't do it. And he said, okay, well, you're fired. And he said he fired them, and then he created I believe it's the Buena Vista construction company, which still to this day they do a lot of construction with their internal construction company, and they figured out how to do it. But it's kind of a funny thing because like he insisted on that. He was like, this has to the monorail has to go through the Contemporary, because at this point Walt Disney had died, and it was one of those things where he just wanted to have it, right? So anyway,
it was a vision that needed to be executed. Yeah.
Anyway, that's an aside. Okay, so I got to talk about my trip because something happened.
You're like really close to leaving. Like you're like
just got even closer, Trevor.
4 days. Oh no. Okay.
Okay. So listen. Okay. So here's what happened. Right.
Yeah.
So backstory first, quickly for everybody to catch you up.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, so I am. The plan is to leave on Tuesday night. We were going to leave on like Tuesday afternoon at like 2:00. Like we were just going to like leave work early, and then we were going to drive the 7.5 hours to Daytona, stay overnight at Daytona, and then on Wednesday morning drive down to Disney. It's like another hour and a half, 2 hours. And that was the plan, right? That's what we were doing, right? That's Tuesday. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling a little stressed about it. I was, because it's
afternoon drive after work.
Yeah, it's a lot to do, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm putting my daughter to bed last night, and she says to me, she goes, Daddy, why aren't we going to Florida this weekend instead of on Tuesday? And I said, well, I start to say, well, Mommy and I have to work on Monday and Tuesday, which we do. But then I immediately think to myself, I was like, but we can work from anywhere. I can work from anywhere. She can work from anywhere. She already works remote. I can work remote. So I don't really have anything keeping me here. Right. And so then I was like, she makes a good point. Like, what do we do? Why are we stressing ourselves out on Tuesday when we can just go this weekend? Right. Which I know sounds crazy because this is Friday night, right?
Okay.
This is Friday night. I'm talking to you on Saturday morning, right? This is Saturday now. And so I said, I went to my wife and I said, well, this actually makes a lot of sense because my mom is coming with us, right, for a day. She's just doing a day, right?
Yeah.
So she's coming with us for so what the plan was is my stepdad and my mom were going to drive down to meet us on Wednesday, like evening for Ohana dinner, right? Mm-hmm. They were going to stay overnight with us. And then on Thursday, my mom was going to come to Epcot with us. My stepfather was going to skulk around the resort and watch TV in the in the resort because he doesn't want to go, right? Whatever, fine. And then they were going to leave Thursday night and go home. Well, I'm like, we can like make this so much better now because if we drive down to Florida to my mom's house on Sunday, first of all, we can take our time.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to be in a rush. We can just, take our time getting there. No stress, just go. And then we both work from home Monday and Tuesday, work from my mom's house. And then Wednesday morning we drive down to Disney. We take my mom with me. My stepdad doesn't have to come at all. My mom can just come, and then she'll come to the water park with us on Wednesday. She'll come to Epcot with us on Thursday, and then my stepdad will pick her up on Friday morning. Way better setup than what we were doing. And I'm like, how did I not think of this? I'm like so angry with myself because I'm like, I'm usually the one that's like, that figures out these better ways to do these trips. Like I'm very much about efficiency and doing things in the most efficient manner, right? And I don't like when there's like a lot of different complication, but I'm like, God, this just makes sense. Why didn't I think of that? And of course, my 8-year-old daughter is the one who figures this out. And she's just like, well, why aren't we doing that? And I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, because you even lamented about, traveling in the middle of the week is something you don't normally do. So, I mean, you kind of answered it yourself.
But usually if I say that to myself, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Then I come up with an alternative. I don't know if my brain's just fried from like just being too busy lately. And I just didn't I didn't take it a step further. But like, I didn't even think of this as a possibility. Like it was never a thought that even came to my mind that like I, was like, no, we're not doing that. So the only thing we really needed to figure out was my dog, who we needed to board. And, his boarding appointment wasn't until Tuesday. So we had to see if the boarding place had extra availability and we could bring him today. And they said, yeah. So now we're going tomorrow.
So that's ramped up your plans here. Hence why
a little bit. Yeah. Considering, I know you start packing like a month ahead of time, but that is not how we roll. And so we haven't even started packing, hadn't started.
Tom,
I know we need to do laundry. Like we needed to do, we're in no way prepared for it. The good news is we have all day today to take care of it. and we can leave whenever tomorrow morning, and we can just take it easy. Now we can stop at Buc-ee's. That's important too.
I know what Buc-ee's is too, and that's
you know about Buc-ee's. Yeah.
Yes, I've watched videos of Buc-ee's, and I understand it's
Buc-ee's is truly a thing to behold.
Yeah, it looks insane.
I'm not gonna lie. We've stopped at Buc-ee's a couple times because there's one on the way to my mom's, right? And it's actually like at a perfect point. It's like a couple hours away.
It's that great pit stop.
It's like right when we need gas, right when we're gonna get hungry. It's like right at that time, so it's perfect. But it's a whole thing, right? Like, and it's so you've watched videos of it, Trevor.
You don't just pop in, pop out.
But reality of it is it's insanely large. It looks large on video. It's even bigger in person. And
I'm just imagining like a Walmart. Like
it's like several times. It's so big. It's crazy. But I will say this, because we're not bringing my dog with us this time, it really should help us be more efficient. We've never had a stop at Buc-ee's that's been less than an hour. And that's only because we had the dog. And so what happened was one of us had to stay with the car while we filled the gas, and the other two went inside, did, bathroom, all that stuff. And then we had to do it in shifts. You know what I mean? Right. So it ended up taking longer.
Off. Yeah.
Yeah. So this time we don't have the dog. We're not in a rush. So I was like, all right, guys, well, we can stop at Buc-ee's because I know we're going to see it. And then, my wife and daughter are going to be like, can we stop at Buc-ee's? And I'm like, I don't want to delay this trip by an hour. Can we not do that? We were going to.
But now you have the time.
I have the time. Yeah.
You can fully enjoy the atmosphere of a Buc-ee's and
get some barbecue. Trevor, their barbecue is so good. It's
I've heard that. I know it's not a Disney thing, but it's definitely it's a weird I see the merits of it. I see why it's so appealing.
Listen, I mean, it's just the amount of food that's there and everything too. It's just, it's crazy. But, the other thing is too, Trevor, so that's what we're doing now. So I'm going to spend all day today, basically, as soon as I'm done talking to you, which is why I'm like, we need to keep this episode short. Cause I gotta get packing. I got so much to do. We're
already 20 minutes in and
well, we don't have much news this week. So that's okay.
That's true.
But, the other part my wife was excited about, we have not driven I-4 in a long time because we're always going to my mom's, in the beginning and the end, right? Mm-hmm. And this time we're not doing that because we're going to go to her house first, but on the way home, we're going to leave straight from Disney and go straight home. So my wife is very excited to see the I-4 eyesore, which is, are you familiar with the I-4 eyesore, Trevor?
Is this that building that never got finished?
Yes.
Near the airport? Yes, I have seen the building in our travels from the airport to and from. I didn't realize it was still called that.
I don't think it still is because I think they actually, I don't know if they finished it.
Yeah.
I think they finished it, but it's just funny because it was always a thing for us when we drove by there, and it just was always a thing, and now I think it's done now. I think it's finally done, but. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. There's no. Oh, I know. It says, but as of September 2025, there's no planned completion date. So I guess it's not completely done.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's been this this half finished building that's been around for a long time. So it's called the I-4 eyesore. Yeah. But anyway, so my wife's very excited to drive past that again for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah. So anyway,
hey, that's like a nostalgia thing. It
is.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what happened. My 8-year-old daughter is smarter than me, clearly. And
this is like that. Who did the taco commercial where the little girl, or they're talking about soft shell and hard shell tacos, and the little girl says, "Why not both?" And then they're all celebrating.
I don't remember that. That sounds vaguely familiar.
Who was it? It was. I know the company. I need to look it up now.
Oh my gosh. Seriously though, she just said it to me as a thing, literally I'm putting her to bed, and she's like, well, why aren't we going to Florida this weekend? And I'm thinking to myself, why aren't we doing that? There's no reason not to. We got nothing going on. What are we doing?
It was an old El Paso commercial.
Oh, okay.
Hard and soft tacos.
This.
So yeah. And the little girl just goes, "Why not both?" This feels like the same energy, like your daughter, said something to you that's, like you said, it feels obvious in retrospect, but it
does.
Genius move, and, should be celebrated. You should make sure, get her an extra, whatever she wants,
Stitch
like
stuffed
a
animal,
Mickey bar, Stitch or something. Like,
yeah. It's just the whole, but yeah, I'm actually, even though we're gonna have to like rush a little bit today, and not really, because we have all day to get it together,
Mhm.
It's still gonna be better than rushing out on Tuesday afternoon. And now I don't have to. This is gonna sound bad. It's gonna make me sound like an old person, but like driving in the dark too on the interstate, like I'm fine with it.
I'm there for that too. Getting older, the reality is it is harder to see at night, and driving at night sucks.
It does.
I hate it too, especially around here when in the winter, because night starts at like 4 p.m. when you get into the winter months, and so like going out in the evenings isn't preferable.
And the roads, I mean, now given if I were going to Daytona, we would be on 95 the whole time, and it was major roadway, obviously, so it would be fine. It's just like I just don't want to drive until like 11 o'clock at night and just be exhausted. And then, like this is
and then you're starting your next day at Disney, and it's always that like you want to have the energy for Disney. You want to like be ready for it. And if you're traveling a bunch and you haven't rested, or you get in late for whatever reason, it kind of cascades into like it doesn't ruin things, but it doesn't help either, right?
No,
so yeah, I get it.
It doesn't. So no, listen, I'm actually pleased with this plan. I just have a lot to do. So so there's that. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what's happening now. My trip is now starting
maybe
2 days earlier.
Maybe when you're at Buc-ee's, if you find some mac and cheese, sneak a pack of ketchup on it and see what you think.
I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I've seen mac and cheese at Buc-ee's. I'm usually focused on like.
I know
they should have mac and cheese.
I'm pretty sure I saw somebody said that.
I could see that.
I'm pretty sure they have mac and cheese.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I got a breakfast wrap the last time we went there, and it was so good. Dude.
Okay, but you know what? Actually, I feel like. Back to that conversation about mac and cheese and everything. I feel like because I know you're coming up here, next year. You're gonna
about a year from now.
Yeah, you're gonna come to Calgary. I realize that we've sent you like Canadian snacks and stuff, but I feel like there's maybe a larger conversation about like I don't assume that I have local Canadian cuisine, but
poutine.
Poutine's a Quebec thing though. Like it's not it is everywhere, but it originated in Quebec, and it's very clearly identified as a Quebec thing. I think we need to maybe like figure out like some of the like specifically Canadian things for you to try while you're up here. The other one I realized I actually mentioned in the Discord, and nobody really clocked it, is I mentioned like A1 steak sauce or HP sauce, and you probably don't know what
HP sauce is.
Yeah, exactly. I realized afterwards HP sauce is like A1 steak sauce, but HP stands for House of Parliament.
Oh,
so it's literally like
very Canadian.
It's very Canadian, but usually it's actually something I have on like breakfast sausages, but you can also have it on steak too. Okay. So I think that's a later conversation. Is we need to figure out. Some Canadian things to expose you to that maybe, yeah. And I'll make you a box of mac and cheese, and I'll make you a box of Katie. What you want some Katie with a little bit of ketchup?
I wouldn't mind trying it, because it is your KD is different than Kraft mac and cheese down here. The recipe is completely different, so I'd be interested to try that. But
I mean, I have 12 boxes here right now, so I could make you Katie anytime.
All right. Well, let's talk about let's move on.
Let's do some listener questions. Joe put a couple in the Discord.
This one is from like months ago, but we just for some reason it got followed up on, and I was like, how did we miss that?
Sorry, Joe. We were bad and we missed on this. So yeah, let's start with this one. I think this is a pretty quick one.
I agree.
He said, which Pixar film that doesn't have any sequels do you think needs to be more present and represented in the parks? So a Pixar film without sequels, that's a
tough one, but
that's a hard one, because I've
got an answer to this.
Yeah.
Months ago when he asked this question, the answer to me was Turning Red. The answer to me now is Hoppers.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at.
Interesting. I agree with Turning Red.
Turning Red is such an underrated Pixar movie, and it annoys me that people don't watch it.
Yeah, I know, and again, I keep emphasizing, it is based in Canada, which I appreciate from that lens, but I also appreciate that there's a lot of interesting cultural things that come up in it, and just teenager-isms and stuff that I don't think it gets quite enough love.
It really doesn't.
So yeah, more Turning Red would be cool. I feel I'm gonna regret saying this, but just looking at standalone films, actually, I just changed my mind on a dime here, because I was reading through all the ones that don't have sequels. I was originally going to say Up, but Up is such a
I feel like you can't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do with that. Yeah.
I mean,
besides Doug, Doug has shown up a bunch in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, but I feel like they could do something like they've done the Wilderness Explorer stuff in Animal Kingdom as well. I feel like and actually Kevin as well. So yeah, I guess
Kevin. That's true.
Yeah, okay, so yeah,
I believe there's going to be a Kevin on the new Carousel of Tropical Americas. I think I read that there was going to be a Kevin, thing you can sit on. So
yeah, so I retract Up, and I'm actually going to go with Onward.
Ooh, that's a deep cut right there.
I think Onward, Onward's a hot take, and specifically I like Onward because it very much touches on it's like D&D memes and stuff throughout it, which I very much resonate with, and I think it would be cool to have more of that kind of fantasy stuff. I know Disney as a whole is there's lots of fantasy stuff, but I like that that D&D world building specifically, and how they kind of did it in Onward. So I think having an Onward area or a ride that's one that I think would be
that's another movie that doesn't get a lot of love. It doesn't. I will also say I wish there were more WALL-E stuff in the parks. They dabble occasionally, but it's not a lot. And also Brave too. Brave is a great movie. That movie needs more. I mean, there's a fair amount of Brave stuff, I guess. There was the meet and greet.
Yeah. Merida used to have her own meet and greet stuff,
and the songs show up in a lot of the nighttime shows, but I don't know.
But yeah, WALL-E feels like a bit of a missed opportunity for environmentalism and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like they could do a lot more with WALL-E in Epcot specifically. There's a lot of messaging they could do there, kind of similar to what they did with Moana. There could be more WALL-E stuff.
I love WALL-E. I really do. WALL-E's a great movie, and that was a great question though, Joe. I really like that question. It's a fun one. So, but Joe also asks, how or when do any of you decide to go for an annual pass instead of just buying multi-day tickets? For example, do you only consider it if you're going to do 2 trips a year? Is there a certain amount of days that tip you over to an annual pass? If so, how many? What other factors do you consider when choosing to pay for park tickets versus an annual pass? This is a great question. And I think it's one that a lot of DVC members kind of wrestle with, right?
Well, especially because, we have the discounted pass we can take advantage of, which changes the math a little bit, right?
It does.
So, so how do you approach it?
I think the straightforward way to do it, right, is, this is a math problem, really, right? Because if you know when you're going and you know how many days you're going to go for, you can figure out what those tickets would cost versus getting a annual pass, right? And so I actually, I don't use AI for a lot of things, Trevor, but I use it for this because I felt like it was a good task for it. And the AI claims this is Gemini claims that it is the break-even point is between 7 and 8 days, which makes sense because that's what it has been in the past when I've calculated it for myself. So even if you do 2 4-day trips or 1 longer trip and 1 shorter trip, still the threshold is about 8 days. So
and you're right. That's what we figured out too. But the interesting thing, I think where it does change, or for me, I guess what changed it a little bit was, so the couple of times that we bought annual passes, we did the one year we deliberately knew we were going at the beginning of the year and towards the end of the year. So we had 2 trips planned within 365 days. That obviously pushed it over the breaking point where we were like, well, we're just going to do the annual pass and that's it. But the other thing that kind of, this is the like, it's Disney math at the end of the day, because it's like, when we start talking about, it's like, usually when we go, we plan for a week, which works out to like 6 park days, right? So it's like, we're not hitting that breaking point. But there's been a couple of times where we're like, well, usually when we get in, we don't go to the park because we get in really late in the day. And it's like, and I can't justify paying for, paying for an extra park day for like, just going into the park for a couple of hours. But if I'm buying an annual pass, technically I'm paying for that extra day, but it's like, buying the annual pass kind of pushes that logic when you start being like, well, I can go in there on a day that I wouldn't normally go in there, right? Because we actually did do this both, like, the day, or we took advantage of it where there was one day where my son had gotten a shirt from Epcot, and we got back to the hotel room and we noticed there was a rip in it, and we were like, or like it was not like a huge rip, like it was something like how it was manufactured. There was a hole in the back. And so on our last day, we would be like, the last day we're not going to any parks or whatever, but we're like, well, we can just pop back and exchange it. And it was like, and we were like, good thing we have the annual passes. But then it was well, since we're here, like, we'll pop in, we'll do this, go back to the hotel. But it's like, we could have stayed a little bit longer, right? Like it was, it was one of these things where it's like, once you have the annual pass, or like you kind of, getting close to that point changes your mindset. And so it's very easy to, like, not just justify like, well, however many days you're paying for, but it's like, well, but if I want to pop in here or pop in there. And then also like the other, it's not as much of an issue, but like when we were first starting out, like the discounts were a little bit different between the annual passes and DVC. So it was like having the discounts overlap was ideal, even though like now it's like, well, DVC basically offers like the same discounts on restaurants and stuff for the most part. Actually, right now, I think they have better deals, like, as you're going to be taking advantage of. But yeah, it's like it's all those like Disney math things where it's like, I know I'm going to spend more money anyway. So if I just get the annual pass, then I stop spending money on that. Is the logic. And yeah, it's entirely, I acknowledge that it's not like a real math thing. It's just like me justifying like, I'm close enough, I want to buy the annual pass, right? So yeah. So we've had a couple of points of that where it's like, I knew that it was like, well, it's close enough, and it's like, just get it, because then also it's like well, maybe if we end up like, doing something later down the line, it's like, I already have the park ticket sorted out, right? So yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, it's simple. The math is simple, but annual passes are complicated.
It can be, yeah. All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and do our ad, Trevor, and then we'll talk about a couple other things, and we'll get out of here so I can go pack.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds good. This show is brought to you by DVC Rental Store, which is a keyholder vacation company that offers magical vacations at incredible value. Save up to 60% off retail rates at premium Disney resorts. DVC Rental Store now includes deposits as low as 25% at the time of booking and a built-in cancellation policy for every reservation. And as always, DVC Rental Store pays the most to members looking to rent out their points. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com/welcome home or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 382-7368. When we speak to them, be sure to let them know the Welcome Home sent you.
All right. So just one little piece of DVC information here for those that may be traveling sometime in August here. Mm-hmm. So Kidani Village, which is one of my home resorts, Trevor, and I've stayed there many, many times. They are having a refurbishment. So they're refurbishing some of the spaces in the lobby there. So yeah, just, keep an eye on that. If you, are heading there, not a whole lot of news on this, but it's a good thing to know,
Yeah. And there's little things here, like one of in this article you sent, it says, one of the spots, from September 28th to October 9th, the north side corridor will be unavailable. This includes access to the north side elevator lobbies on the second floor, as well as the outdoor deck and viewing area. So yeah, it's not that they're going to like close down the entire lobby, but like you said, it's going to be rolling rolling closures of areas. So just, I guess, factor that into your stay at Kidani, that you may have to like, it may take a little bit longer getting to and from your hotel room or wherever you're trying to go. So
yeah, and they had recently done a full scale refurbishment, right? So like Kidani had its first hard goods refurbishment, that it's had since it opened. So, and that kind of was just finishing up. So now they're moving on to the lobby areas and refreshing all of those things. These are all good things. I'm always in favor of and even if things got to be temporarily closed, it's fine. For more improvement in the future.
It's a reality of these spaces is, they got to pretty them up sometime, and they can't just do it overnight while you're sleeping. So.
That's exactly right. So, that was a quick one. This is also probably another quick one, but we were talking a while ago about the big scrims that were in front of Haunted Mansion. And, we're speculating, mostly jokingly, I think, about what that might be. It turns out it's really just they were, updating redoing the outside of the mansion,
prettying it up.
Yeah, redoing the facade on the outside. And so now the scrims are down, which I'm very happy about, by the way, because it's right before I'm going. Yeah, and I'm very happy that I'm going to get to go and see, to see it in all its new glory here.
Yeah, it definitely pops a lot more.
It does.
Like the brickwork is very. Looking at the old pictures, I didn't realize how brown it was.
Yeah. Is that just from the years and years and years of it just probably is just from sitting in the Florida sun for just 30 years,
just
like
natural
40 years.
Fading. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And this article mentions that it's basically restored to what it looked like on opening day. Because I think somebody in the Discord said that they felt like it looks less scary now. And I can see that because it looks brighter, but at the same time, it's like, well, this is what it looked like when it opened, right? So they're kind of bringing it back to where it was.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing, right? Because it's like, letting it get worn down kind of fits the vibe of the Haunted Mansion. Kind of like the
Tower of Terror with all the cobwebs and stuff. You almost want a rundown feeling, right?
But, well, yes and no. Like that's kind of the interesting thing about it is that it's a Victorian style mansion, which even, or I don't want to say in every haunted house setting that they're or I guess it's the difference between a rundown haunted house versus looks fine on the outside, but there's something really wrong on the inside. I think having it look cleaner actually adds to it.
I hadn't thought about it that way, but I agree with you.
Or the way I equate it is there was an old horror movie called The Haunting, which was it was literally like a haunted house. Like there was a whole backstory where the person in the house was doing horrible things, but when they went to the house, it looked normal, normal in that it was a Victorian mansion, right? And they were more, or it wasn't being posed as hey, this place has been run down and cobwebs and all that kind of stuff. I like that idea better for this particular haunted mansion versus some of the other ones. And like you said, Tower of Terror, I think there's room for both. And I think, giving this one the facelift back to looking nice again or looking pretty, definitely, I think it's the right move. And considering all the other changes coming in Magic Kingdom, I think it does need to stand out a little bit more.
Well, right? It's also just nice to see all of these old attractions getting some love,
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see that at, and D23 is coming up here. And, we talked about what our predictions were, but I hope the love to older attractions expands to other parks such as Spaceship Earth, Figment. I think, those are some things that really need some love. Listen, we were going to get a full on refurb of Spaceship Earth back in 2019, and then the pandemic happened and it just got canceled. And now we're in 2026 and it's still in the same state that it was. And listen, the thing desperately needs to be redone. It does. So, I'm hopeful, considering how much they're spending on doing these things in Magic Kingdom, that they're going to move their attention at some point to Epcot and, I'm trying to think, I don't know of anything that needs love in Hollywood Studios right now because they're really redoing a lot of things in Hollywood Studios. So
I think
Epcot's the sore thumb right now, I feel like.
I feel like the area around Echo Lake just
I could see that.
That's the only area for me that immediately comes to mind needs a little bit of love. But because it's that weird in between space between where they're doing like Monsters Inc. is on the one side, and then over towards like, Rock and Roller Coaster and all that. Like that's all had recent refurbs and whatnot. So it's like Echo Lake has kind of been left alone, I guess.
I could see that. Yeah. Just don't do anything to Gertie, please.
Well, Gertie needs a facelift too.
Listen, Gertie could use a nice refurbishing. Just don't refurbish her. Don't extinct her, okay?
Yeah. That's fair.
Just saying, okay? Yeah. But no, listen, this is great. I think it looks really nice. I don't think that it's a bad thing at all. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it almost makes it more foreboding, right? Because it makes it feel more normal.
It's like normal on the outside is not always a good thing, right? Like your guard comes down when you see it like that, right? As opposed to if you see it all run down and stuff, you're like, oh, this is going to be scary. Whereas if it just looks like a regular cool old manor, you're like, oh, this is cool. You know what I mean? Like it kind of plays into it like that. I feel this might be the wrong term, but I think it's subversion is what it is, where you lead something in that it's like it looks fine on the surface, but there's a hidden meaning underneath, or something below the surface. Maybe I'm using the wrong term. But.
No, it makes sense. All right, Trevor. Yeah. But I don't have anything else on that.
No, I had that totally wrong with subversion.
That's fine. I knew what you meant.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah. It is about overthrowing things from within, but it's not about. Yeah, I was using it in the wrong term. Yeah.
I knew what you meant.
Ignore me. Yeah.
I knew what you meant. Yeah. So I put this next thing on here just because I kind of want it. I don't know why. Fair. I just think it's kind of cool. It's really not like Parks News or anything. I don't know. There's just something about this. Like,
hey, I mean, Halloween's coming. It is. The Halloween parties are starting up, and I mean, you couldn't wear this in the parks or anything, but like, this is a.
Yeah, so on the Disney Store right now, you can go and buy a Spider-Man mask that has a remote control to it that allows the Spider-Man mask the eyes to do different expressions.
Yeah,
like if you've ever seen. Yeah, if you've ever seen Spider-Man, you know how like his mask will, if he like squints his eyes or something, the eyes move and change.
The mask, the mask eyes squint. Well, because he's squinting, or as he's talking, they kind of like are the expressiveness of his face. Yeah,
exactly. Which logically has never really made a whole lot of sense to me when I watch those things. But you're suspending a lot of disbelief when you're watching those things anyway, so you don't really care that much. But they made an actual mask that does it, Trevor, which is kind of cool.
The thing that's impressive to me about this is I've seen masks like this, but it's always been done by like professional cosplayers that are like, they take time to like engineer it and, build it themselves. The fact that this is being sold as like just a retail option is crazy.
Yeah.
The price point, like you said, to honestly, have this would be cool. For $150.
I mean, if you think about $150 for this is not that crazy, right? Like, because this is pretty cool
for what it is. Yeah. Because there's clearly a lot of moving parts to this. Being able to control it remotely is, that's the key to it. Is there's no like wires sticking out of it or anything. It's it's all done by a remote. So,
it would be cool if it could just read your face, like, and just copy your face, but it's fine.
But I mean, having the little thumbstick control, I think, is a good compromise because then it becomes like a level of like puppeteering, right?
Yeah.
So,
it also feels like it would be very difficult to see out of this thing.
I mean, no worse than any other mask, I would guess. Like it looks no different than any other Spider-Man mask that I've seen.
I did dress up as Spider-Man for Halloween one year, and that mask was not very easy to see out of. So
they never are. No. Same thing. I've done the Spider-Man thing in the past too, and they're not meant to, or the mesh is there that you can see things, but you can't see details, which is annoying.
This does seem like one of those things that you would play with for like maybe a half hour, and then just be like, all right.
I feel like the funniest use case of this is like just putting it on and like sitting on the couch and like, you know, your wife is like asking you questions and you're like, as you're responding back to her, you're just like emoting the like
the Spider-Man mask. Oh my God. Yeah. I love
what
that.
do you want for dinner, honey? Like the
creepiest part about this is it comes with a stand, so you can just put it on the stand and then just, you know, have it make faces at you too.
Yeah. that would feel unsettling to me.
Well, just a disembodied head of Spider-Man just sitting on your desk making faces at you. Yeah, that's unsettling. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty funny. But I listen, it's cool though. Like I love this kind of stuff. You know.
It's a neat little thing that, or you know, Hasbro clearly has seen a market for this, and you know, I'm sure there's. You know, like I said, you know, cosplayers have done this stuff, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that will pick up this mask for cosplay specifically.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But yeah, like it's also like like you said, if you're doing a Halloween costume, you know, it that would be a next level thing for sure to have the emoting eyes on a Spider-Man mask.
I mean, they can easily do this for Deadpool too. I mean, Deadpool does the same thing with. I mean, you know, it's literally you just change the mask a little bit. Yeah. But like the mechanics are all the same. You know, it's so. I mean, you could because Deadpool has a very similar mask. So yeah,
I wonder. I noticed it says this is part of the Marvel Legends series. So I wonder if there's going to be more of these kinds of masks coming out in the future. You might be right. Like there, because was it there's another, they're doing another Marvel movie. I just saw Ryan Reynolds crashed
oh yeah, that was pretty funny actually.
Was it Avengers or an X-Men?
Yeah, so the next Avengers movie is at the end of this year, and so he was there was a joke of him basically trying to like insinuate that he should be in it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is a Deadpool cameo somewhere in the Avengers movies because, like,
Deadpool's definitely showing up in that movie. There's no way he doesn't show up in that movie. Like, I would be absolutely shocked,
especially after all the multiverse stuff.
Yeah,
that they've done with Deadpool lately, right? Like, there's
no way he doesn't show up.
Yeah, it seems obvious to include him.
And they really did present it in a pretty funny way at Comic-Con too. So that was good. I mean, I also very much enjoyed the Spaceballs thing they did, but that wasn't Disney. But, you know.
Well, I mean, Rick Moranis is a Disney legend, too. So, you know, he's not officially, but I mean, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was, you know.
Do you know this new Spaceball movie Spaceballs movie is his first movie in 30 years? I was shocked by this.
Yeah, because he stepped away from acting because.
Well, I knew that. Yeah, I just was surprised it was that long, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like 30 years is crazy.
I mean, it was crazy to see him in that because all of a sudden, like all the roles that I remembered Rick Moranis from came flooding back, and like for me, like beyond the obvious ones, there's also there's a Canadian show called Great White North. Bob and Doug McKenzie, which he played Bob McKenzie, and it's the most like
he's a Canadian legend. I mean,
yeah. Rick Moranis is a Canadian legend, so it's like seeing that is even more so like. That's so cool. I'm excited to see what they do with it because there is also I believe John Candy's son is in it as well, or maybe I miss.
No, I think Josh Gad is playing he's playing
Barf.
He's playing. Well, they said he's not playing Barf, that he's playing a Mog. But I mean, I think it's pretty obvious it was going to be John
like
Candy's
a callback
son.
to that.
Yeah, it's going to be John Candy's son. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Which, and again, more Canadian legends that there's a lot of Canadian actors that like in Spaceballs, but also like they have connections back to like Disney IPs and stuff too, which I very much enjoy. So.
Listen, I think probably Rick Moranis is all part of our childhood, but I mean, Honey I Shrunk the Kids was that was a movie everyone knew. I mean, there was so much stuff in Disney parks around it too.
Yeah, it had Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was
play area at Hollywood Studios. Mm-hmm. Like, there was all that stuff. Like, that was great. And so he had that, and I mean, he obviously was in Ghostbusters, and we all remember the Ghostbusters movies. Yeah,
Ghostbusters. Yes, like
yes. I mean,
I get why he didn't come back for the newer ones, or why he hasn't appeared in them yet. But maybe he will now. Maybe there's a chance that he might appear in the next.
He's unretired, so yeah. I don't know how we got talking about Rick Moranis. I guess Deadpool.
Well, yeah, we went from the Comic-Con.
It was my fault. This is my fault.
No, that's fine. I don't mind talking about Canadian actors. That's fine.
I was just very. But listen, the Marvel stuff was cool too. This next Avengers movie is going to be nuts because there's an absurd amount of people in it. It's insane.
I feel like they're trying to recreate what they did with Endgame.
But this is even crazier. Because they're bringing X-Men and they're bringing all the properties that they finally own together now. Finally,
Yeah, I agree, but it's walking a very dangerous line for me. You
have to do it the right way. It's hard to do.
That's the problem. Is the expectations of it are so unreal. And again, for me, same thing as X-Men was a big part of my childhood.
Oh yeah, loved X-Men. Yeah.
So Marvel and the current Avengers stuff. It's that's all. I've enjoyed all of that, but it's X-Men. You got to do it right. And to be fair, in was it Deadpool and Wolverine? Who was it that played Remy LeBeau?
What's his face?
Or Gambit, but
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, that Gambit. I was like,
he's great.
Whoa, awesome. Okay, you guys.
We need more of that. Yeah. We need more of that.
I need that energy.
Well, and now we got Ryan Gosling as a Ghost Rider too, which is going to be pretty cool, I think. So
that's so crazy.
I know. I actually,
he's another Canadian. Did you know that?
I think I did know that one.
I think I told you because I mentioned he was on a show called Breaker High, which was a Canadian.
I feel like you told me that. Yeah,
sitcom. I know him from back then originally, and again, he's become another, superstar in all of this.
I feel like he's good for Ghost Rider. That's going to be great. Yeah. I would love if they snuck him into the new Avengers movie somehow, because I feel like that'd be a cool intro, but probably not. But who knows?
There's lots of opportunity for that stuff. But then again, the problem is it becomes an issue of if it's just firing cameos out left and right.
Yeah, no, you don't want that. You don't want that. Yeah, you don't want that. But Ghost Rider's such a cool character. I mean,
just needs to be walking by in the background,
exactly. Yeah, just have him just show up for a second.
What show is it where they actually did that? Where I can't remember. Maybe it was The Office, where they did a Beetlejuice thing where there was one episode where they said Beetlejuice 3 times in the episode spaced apart, but then the last time they said it was a Halloween episode, and somebody walked by in the background in a Beetlejuice costume.
Really? That's kind of random.
But it was incredibly subtle, but it was I would love it if they would do stuff like that for the cameos. If it's somebody says something and it's just a very quick Ghost Rider walks by or something.
I tried to find the old Ghost Rider, the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movies from was it 2009 or maybe 2007, and I found them on streaming, but they were in a service that no one uses. Because it was before Disney owned Marvel, and it was when Marvel used to do the movies with other studios, and so it was a little bit all over the place. But I think they've been trying to get Ryan Gosling in the MCU for a long time, so to get him to be Ghost Rider is that's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So Anyway, that was a random aside, but
well, hey, but that's your fault for bringing up Spider-Man merch. So
it is my fault. I really want to see the new Spider-Man. It got great reviews, and I really want to see it, but I just don't have time. I've got to pack, and I've got to go on vacation. So,
well, hurry up, we got to get going.
Okay, one last thing. There's a couple. They've been releasing this Halloween stuff little by little, right? Of the merch stuff, and so now the latest release is a Disney Villains collection coming to the parks. And again with the hockey jerseys. It's just
I guess that's the theme this year.
These are football jerseys, actually. These are football jerseys. I'm sorry. Football jerseys.
Okay. I mean, it's just jerseys, I guess.
Just jerseys. Yeah. So there's a Maleficent jersey, which is black and has some green stuff on it. Okay.
That's kind of cool. Or it's the thorns, the Maleficent thorns. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's a Headless Horseman one, which literally says on the back where the player's name would be the Headless Horseman, and is the flaming pumpkin on the back, which, okay.
The color scheme needs more it needs some black outlines.
Yeah.
It's a little too orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have the required Spirit jersey.
Yeah.
Because they gotta
Disney villains.
Gotta have a Spirit jersey. But the word villains on the back is like the letters are shaped into like different villains, I guess. I'm trying to
tell exactly what they are. I don't know if it's just like scenes from like
maybe
the V looks like there's like a castle or something. So I'm guessing it's it's probably like if you gotta. This is the problem. We talked about this with their photography is that whoever's doing it, they're like showing people in like action poses and stuff. But it's like you can't see what the merch actually is.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
yeah. It's not easy to see it. They're going too artsy.
Yeah.
There's also these like really dark looking dress thing for the ladies.
I guess it's got a bunch of different
villains on it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got let's see, some wristlets. So with the evil queen on them, it looks like it's like a textured kind of thing. It's almost like
what's a wristlet?
I don't know. Is that like a little wallet you put on your wrist? Is that
I'm
what it
looking
is?
at these and I'm trying to figure out if it is just like a wrist or I guess it's like it looks like a whole like
that's what it is.
wallet that you're carrying around, which okay, interesting.
Yeah. We got some coffee cups. I have to say this one coffee cup's pretty cool. The one that looks like a castle and has Maleficent on it. That one's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Actually they're both decent.
They're not bad.
Yeah.
If I needed coffee mugs, I would, I would look at them.
I actually the right one, the green one with Maleficent and the dragon on it, I would actually go for that one over the castle one myself.
Okay.
But,
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's also a Headless Horseman figure. They're really leaning into the Headless Horseman stuff, which is fine.
I'm not mad about it.
No, it's good. Yeah. And there's also a special edition Little Mermaid doll too. Okay.
Oh, Vanessa.
Yeah, sorry. Inspired by Vanessa from The Little Mermaid. Yeah.
She's got that sassy look on her face.
She does. My daughter would like this.
Yeah, it's not the typical like just like, sweet smile. She's got some sass to her. I like that.
Then on the opposite side of things, they go from that all this dark stuff to like these like bright pink Halloween things.
But it's cutesy.
It's cutesy. Cutie
Ghost collection. Which
okay.
It's a Cutie Ghost collection. I'm guessing it's supposed to be or it just says boo
it says
on
hey
it.
Boo. No, it says hey boo.
Oh, hey boo. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Great.
That feels like a stretch for like.
Yeah, this feels like a thing my daughter would like, but not, obviously.
Okay. I guess, this is not for me. I know that.
It's not for me. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, then let's wrap it up then.
Okay.
Because that's all that's left here. So let's wrap it up. Just a reminder to everybody. So we have this episode this week. We're going to have a waitlist episode next week. So that'll be, available to you next week. But we won't have another regular episode for 2 weeks. So
yeah, because Tom is running off to Florida now. Like Tom's getting in the car as I'm wrapping up this episode.
I'm doing this on the phone. No.
He'll be driving as we're no.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So like we said, we'll have a wait list coming out, but in the meantime, if you guys want to reach out to us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. You can always send us an email. We love hearing your trip reports, getting questions, all that kind of stuff. You can also find us through our website, welcomehomepodcast.co. There is a contact us section in there. Sends you to the email address. So we've got a couple of different ways you can find us there. We are also on social media, so you can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast, and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. Make sure on Facebook you check out our group, Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, where we have all kinds of conversations about stuff from the show and, people sharing their own stuff. I saw Ashley posted in the group, sharing some of her own stuff. I love seeing that. I will say, the Facebook group, I try to make sure I'm in there as much as I can, but a lot of times too, I don't know what it is, the algorithm, or I guess I'm leaning on the algorithm too much, where I'll usually see right away if people post stuff, but I have missed some posts in there in the past, or it's been like days later and then I've realized that somebody's posted. So apologies to people that have posted stuff in there and maybe, didn't get a response or anything. But I think the other side of that too is, if you guys do see stuff posted in the Facebook group, make sure you like it, like, not just the podcast stuff, but, other people's stuff in general, because it does help continue that conversation, or it gets more people engaged. And, I think that's a good thing. And so, if you see somebody post something, if you don't have anything to say, just give it a like, because that does help. But, back to, us on the podcast as well, if you want to help support the podcast, we do have a store. So you can go store.welcomehomepodcast.co and check out all of our different merch on there. If you want to see something added to the store, if you think there's something that, a particular type of merch that we don't have on there that you want to see added, let us know and we'll look to get it added. And we also have a Patreon, so you can support us through patreon.com/welcomehomepod, which Patreon has exclusive logos on all the merch there that you can't get anywhere else. And all of our Patreon supporters get access to the Discord server, as we talked about at the top of the show. Sometimes there is, conversations about catch up on your KD, and sometimes it's people planning trips, talking about, buying annual passes, talking about DCL, all kinds of stuff. So if that's interesting to you, please, check out the Patreon, because then you can get into the Discord server and join us for some of those conversations, which also, as we said on the Discord, the conversation from yesterday was kind of a preview for the start of this show. So we do also sometimes offer previews of stuff that we're working on, and you'll get to see those if you are on the Discord server. Last but not least, I was talking about liking stuff on Facebook. Also, if you're listening to the show on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you can leave us a review, do so, because it's the same thing. It helps it gain visibility, and helps more people see the show, because we do want people to find and enjoy the show. So if you can give it a like or give us 5 stars, that would help us out. And you can also write us a review on iTunes as well, and let us know what you think about the show if you want to do that too. And that also helps us as well. So all of it is just hey, just give us a like, give us a 5-star review, and just help us keep the show getting out there to as many people as possible.
Yeah, the other thing you can do is subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast, so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast episodes out there you can find us. Huge thank you to our sponsors, DVC Rental Store, for sponsoring this episode, and Keyholder Vacations for just sponsoring the show and being good friends in general over the years. Check them out for all your Disney needs. Join us next time for more Disney parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
To a house when we had a chair, how she can cuddle, it's no man's affair. I look around for all the holes, found her in her sugar bowl.